Hello Year 10, it's Miss Mulcair here today. So we're going to look at question 3 for language paper 2, and we are still looking at the extracts about how elephants were treated that we started on Wednesday in our live lessons. So just as a do it now then, there's a few different methods on the slide, so can you just pick out which of these methods you would explore when thinking about a writer's use of language, so not structure or anything else, just language. There's a challenge there for you to consider which, if any of these, would get you higher marks if you were able to explore them in an answer. Like, which ones do you think would be the most worthwhile to really be hitting those top marks? So pause the video now to give yourself a chance to get those down and come back when you're ready. Okay, so we'll just go through some of the actual language devices on the slide here. So we have, so short sentence and juxtaposition are kind of a mix between language and structure. They could be used to explore either, really, but you could certainly think about them when approaching this question because they are sort of part of language anyway. Okay, so for other language devices you could have verbs, similes, metaphors, alliteration, personification, adjectives, and lexical set. Like I said, you could also talk about short sentences and juxtaposition, whereas rhyme is a structural device, punctuation, paragraphs, a structure, font style is just style, and quotes, you wouldn't talk about quotes from a piece of text as a method from a writer because that's what you're picking out. You'd only talk about quotes if perhaps it was an interview or something, like a quotation from someone in a newspaper article, for example. Okay, so we're looking at question 3 today. Question 3 will give you a specific part of the text to look at. So it asks you to only refer to source A from lines 13 to 26. So what I want you to do is to copy out the question, as we've been doing for the past couple of weeks, and then break it down. So circle the command words, circle the words that tell you what you need to do, and underline the topic words, so underline the words that tell you what you need to be writing about. So this question is worth 12 marks. So, it's not a lot of marks, but you need to make sure that you're talking about the right thing. So if it asks you to describe the crowd of people, you don't want to start writing about how the elephant is treated or how the elephant acts or something outside of lines 13 to 26. So it's really important that you pay attention to what the question's asking you. So pause the video, give yourself a chance to write that down. Okay, and then your command words. Your command words are how does the writer, so you're thinking about how the writer gets this message across, how it describes. So you're looking specifically at methods such as language devices or specific word types. And then your topic words are use language to describe, and then the crowd of people. Okay, so I've taken out that particular extract for you. I'm going to read through it for you. Remember, you're looking for information on the crowd, how the crowd is described. So, but at that moment, I glanced round at the crowd that had followed me. It was an immense crowd, 2,000 at the least, and growing every minute. It blocked the road for a long distance on either side. I looked at the sea of yellow faces above the garish clothed faces, all happy and excited over this bit of fun, all certain that the elephant was going to be shot. They were watching me as they would watch a conjurer about to perform a magic trick. They did not like me, but with the magical rifle in my hands I was momentarily worth watching. And suddenly I realised that I should have to shoot the elephant after all. The people expected it of me, and I had got to do it. I could feel their 2,000 wheels pressing me forward irresistibly, and it was at this moment, as I stood there with the rifle in my hands, that I first grasped the hollowness, the futility of the white man's dominion in the East. Here was I, the white man with his gun, standing in front of the unarmed native crowd, seemingly the leading actor of the piece, but in reality I was only an absurd puppet pushed to and fro by the will of those yellow faces behind. To come all that way, rifle in hand, with 2,000 people marching at my heels, and then to trail feebly away, having done nothing? No, that was impossible. The crowd would laugh at me. So as you can see, there's already a few quotes highlighted there for you. So what I want you to do is to sort of annotate around it. If you've got a printed out version of the extract, you can annotate this around the text, but if you're using paper or if you're typing it, just copy the quote and then answer the question below it. So for example, that first quote there, immense crowd, 2,000 at the least. What does this imply? What method is used? So when you're thinking about method, you're looking for either a language device or a specific word type that really sticks out, so maybe quite a powerful adjective or verb. So pause the video now, give yourself a chance to work through that, and that will help you plan your answer for question 3. Okay, so now you are going to try to respond to question 3. So the question, remember, is how does the writer use language to describe the crowd of people? You need to be aiming really to write about 2 to 3 piece paragraphs. That's only the first Z. You don't need to zoom out on this question because it's a language paper. And really you need to be thinking about the effect on the reader. So try to add an extra sentence on the end, thinking about how the reader might feel or what they might think based on what they've read. So aim to do 3 paragraphs. And your challenge is to try and embed your quotes if you can. So you can pause the video now, leave the sentence starters up if you need them, and then come back when you're ready. Okay, so finally then, just want you to underline where you've used relevant quotes from source A, circle where you've explored what a word or device implies in detail, box around where you mention the effect on the reader, and then don't forget to send this over to your teachers so they can have a look at it. And that's all for today. Thank you, Year 10.